Yo, Thought Warriors. What is up? Higher Learning is on. It's Ivan Lathan Jr.
And it's me, Rachel and Lindsay.
Okay, so I have a couple of things to say. First of all, we're back. We were off Monday.
Did you have a good holiday weekend?
I went to Disneyland.
Did you really? For work or for fun?
I went there for fun. It was crazy. Disneyland, crazy, man. Disneyland. Shout out to Disneyland. Let me tell y'all what happened to me at
Did
Disney.
you go like Midnight Boys?
No.
Okay.
Me, Rachel, and Alexis went. Me, Rachel. Me, Kalika,
I was like, it was,
and Alexis went.
Was not there.
So let me tell you what happened. So we're going to Indiana Jones, right? Indiana Jones, nice ride. Line, you know what I'm saying? We in Disneyland, right? You got a whole went and rode Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, played the shooting game, my whole Disneyland vibe. You know how I get down. Anybody, I've heard people say before that, you know, I heard Scott Jennings say one time he hates Disney adults.
He's such a party pooper.
He's a party pooper. By the way, he's a party pooper. The reality is some of us don't mind being
having
around
fun?
Children and that are having a good time, like out in the open. I know the people that he covers for like to hang around kids on islands when nobody's around, allegedly. Okay. So don't like that. Don't make fun of Disney adults. I'll come right at you.
No, I'm with you.
So, man, I'm in the Indiana Jones line.
Mm-hmm. You the fast pass?
Didn't need it.
On a holiday weekend?
Didn't need the fast pass because I'm in the line. The Disney staff comes up to me and says, yo, we're going to bring you through the exit line because we fuck with you. They grab me out of the line, take us through the exit line so we can get right on Indiana Jones. We ride Indiana Jones, fantastic. Leave the line, come back out. The manager says, hey, we fuck with you. You get to go to the front of the ride at Disneyland.
So you had that pass.
The magical, most happy place on earth still got niggas in there that fuck with me.
Oh,
bring
black?
Me to the front of the line.
Okay.
He's feeling like that nigga.
I'm happy for you.
That happened. By the way, not the only time that it happened.
At Disneyland?
Not the only time that it happened.
That
It seems
day?
like to me that people fuck with me at Disneyland. It seems like to me that I'm walking around Disneyland and people is coming up to me and they fucking with me at Disneyland and they saying, hey, Van, this is your fucking spot. Seems like to me people was fucking with me at Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. They was fucking with me in California Adventure. Seemed like to me they was fucking with me Hyperspace Mountain. They was fucking with me in the Matterhorn bobsleds. They fucking with me in Fantasyland. They fucking with me in Frontierland. They fucking with me at Disneyland. That's all I'm saying.
So you did the pass where you had they gave you the escort?
No, they didn't give me the escort. I saw the escort. That escort shit is expensive. I saw the escort.
It is expensive. Not if you get a big group.
Okay, what's the escort? What's the price on the escort?
I mean, it's a
Damn,
it's
what's
some-
the
it's a-
price on the escort? What's
Bernard
the price?
like that.
Well, Bernard, you like that
Bernard
shit.
grabbed the microphone.
Bernard is like, Bernard like, hey, Bernard like, hey, yeah, man, how much they cost out here? I know how much they cost in DC, 75.
It's some thousand, but I think if you do a group, like you just split all the price. You split the price.
That's
It's
how
like
it is.
That's like a bachelorette thing, or bachelorette. Like if you're the lead, they take you to Disneyland and you get to do that escort thing. It's really fun.
$1,000 escort.
Disneyland
It says
escorted
It's
more
VIP
than
tours
1,000.
cost between $500 and $900 per hour.
So are you
depending on the
telling me
season.
that the
Like a
Disneyland
7-hour
escorts,
minimum.
the Disneyland escorts are more expensive than regular escorts? Look up right now how much, seriously. So you get the Disneyland escort for a whole day.
Yeah, as long as you want.
You
them.
have to have a 7-hour minimum.
Hold on.
Wow, okay.
7-hour
So
minimum
3,500.
for a
3,500
Disneyland
to-
escort. How much? Look up right now how much it
not-
is for a regular escort. Look it up on your computer. Not regular escort, like a working girl escort. Like look it up how
Don't
much
look
it is.
that up on your
Hold
Spotify
on.
computers. Don't you dare.
Wait a minute. This is for the pod.
No.
Huh? What class? Give him the mic.
They got different classes on
Yeah,
ChatGPT.
like
Different
you get
classes
a
of escort.
high-end escort. They're
You
gonna
want a
cost
high
more than
tier,
that.
You want a low tier escort? You want a mid tier? Average? Do you want?
Shout out to all the escorts in the world. Keep doing your thing. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, that they cost more than that. Okay. Wow, we're back. We're back. Well, you know what I did? I'm glad you had fun. I went to Louisiana, Homer, Shreveport, family reunion.
Very special. Oh.
Family reunion.
Did I know this? I don't think I knew this.
I did, because I didn't say it, because you know I don't like say when I'm gone.
Yeah.
Family reunion. Homer's like an hour almost.
Yeah.
East of Louisiana. We went out there. We haven't had it in 10 years because we have a trail ride every year. So it kind of feels like it's a family reunion.
Mm-hmm.
But it was so great. Like everybody wore different color T-shirts to represent, because it's on my grandfather's line. There are 5 of them. So it's 5 different colors. Everybody came out. I mean, the family's obviously changed so much in 10 years. New partners, kids. It was so good. We did the history, the legacy, obviously good food, trivia games, dance, dedication to those that we lost. It was just like a really fun day. It was supposed to rain all day. It didn't. We played volleyball. Like we just danced into the night.
Louisiana
so
is the best state for family reunions.
I agree. I mean, that's where I've been having them forever. But
It's the best.
It's the best. And then my cousin moved out there from Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So then it was her birthday. So then we went into Shreveport and we just had a good time.
In Shreveport? You were able to have a good time in Shreveport.
Man, we went to Louisiana Daiquiri, and that was a lot of fun. It was Greek night. You would have loved it.
Oh.
And then we went to, maybe, was it Gigi's? I don't know, but we left there and we went to Phoenix.
Okay.
And the guy who was DJing our family reunion was DJing at Phoenix.
That's what the fuck I'm talking about.
So I was like, it was so much fun. I woke up the next day, an hour and a half to catch my flight, and I realized I have no wallet.
Tough.
I lost my ID.
Oh, that's how you know you had fun.
I lost all my credit cards, debit cards.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing was spent on it, thank goodness. But I
Have
lost
fun.
it all.
It's
I had a
fun.
great time.
So you have to replace all that shit?
Yeah. I've done it
fuck
before.
that.
It's happened before.
What is the level of trip that is worth losing your ID while on the trip? That's worth it. I
You know
always
what? Because
negotiate
it was
that.
family. I saw family. I had a great time and then I got to party with my family and some friends in Shreveport. And like, it's so casual out there. Like, you know, I don't have to put on makeup. I mean, I don't really wear makeup on this podcast, but I don't put on makeup. I don't have to worry about what I'm wearing. It's just like I was in like a jean skirt, a tank, some tennis shoes.
There you go. Getting it.
Getting it.
Daiquiris. Let me ask you this.
Good music.
So you lost your ID too?
Everything. Yeah.
What if somebody is being raped right now?
Oh, I was having this conversation with Jade and Bernard. I used to lose my ID maybe every other weekend.
Yeah, it's tough.
When I was in Texas and law school.
Right.
So there's a bunch of Rachel Lindsays living out in Wisconsin and Austin, Texas.
Probably. So back in the day, I had this Ford Taurus. It's a Ford Taurus SHO.
What color? Anytime somebody says Ford
Silver.
Taurus, I only see forest green or blue.
This one was silver.
Okay.
So this had been my mother's car.
All right.
So this had been my mother's car, and it was a fancy Ford Taurus. So Ford Taurus SHO. It was a stick shift. My mother ended up getting the Lincoln Navigator.
Nice.
Okay. 1999, me and Ryan Davenport
huge.
were taking the Lincoln Navigator to Dreams in Baton Rouge, going up and down the strip. So we're going to Dreams in the Lincoln Navigator.
Okay.
I have to reorient. It's Advent time. This is the purpose of this story. My mother gives me the Taurus SHO.
Okay.
She gives me the car because she gets a Navigator. Now, this is a nice car, the Taurus SHO. It's a special Taurus. Look it up right now. Look up the Ford Taurus SHO edition. It's a nice version of the Taurus. So this was cool. There was something that happened in the Taurus, though, where next to the stick shift, there was like a little hole. Okay? It's a little hole. When I first got the car, I lost my driver's license in that little hole.
Okay.
Okay? I didn't know that it was there, but I put my driver's license in there or near there, and it fell into the little hole. This was a driver's license that I got that still had the picture of me when I first got my driver's license. I was in great shape. I was like looking like myself in the whole nine, right? So I'm driving to SHO some years later. I'm at Tech. And I'm with a girl in the car. And she looks and she sees something and she pulls out a copy of my ID. And she pulls out this ID that I lost. Now, for me, I had lost this ID a very long time ago.
Okay.
So I was happy to see it. And she goes, what is this? And I go, is that my fucking driver's license? And she's like, yeah. And then she looks at the picture and she goes, who is this? And I'm like, oh, that's me. She was like, that is you? At this point, I'm probably around 290 in real life.
Okay.
On the picture, I was probably like 215 or 220.
Okay.
She started to cry.
Why?
She was so, I still don't know. It's one of the weirdest. She's sitting there in the thing. This is a true story.
What kind of cry?
She's like, this is you. I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I actually wanted to call her the B word. I wanted to be me. I've never done that to a woman. But like she got either
like
she
hysterically?
was no, not hysterically. I think she was disappointed. I'm not sure what actually happened, but when she looked, I guess, at what she could be dating,
I don't think that's what she
I
was
promise
doing.
you, nigga. Like
You
this is
didn't
what I
ask.
promise you. Y'all, this happened when
No, I believe
when she
you.
looked like she got like mad. And then after this, that little relationship ended up going sour because she would not let me eat. She wouldn't let me eat. She would not let me eat.
Do you
Every time
think-
I tried to get some chicken tenders from the fucking student union at Louisiana Tech, she would be like, you don't need all of that.
So could the tears have been concern? Like, what if she was like, wow, maybe like I'm concerned for him because he's, put on weight. Like maybe I can help him. They could have been tears of concern.
Man.
Like she was concerned that maybe something else was wrong with you and she felt like she could help you.
I'm so tempted to call Ryan right now.
Don't call Ryan.
I'm so
we
tempted
believe
to call.
you.
I'm so tempted to call Ryan, but like I never forgot that she had the
How
ID,
could you?
and then I started like showing the ID to like random girls that we knew.
Are you a masochist?
I started just showing it just to see how they would respond. I started like showing the ID. Like I showed the ID. Ryan was dating this girl at the time named Tennille. Like he was dating Tennille. Tennille had a sister named Treasure. And I came in there. I was like, hey, look at this. And they went, who's this? And I was like, that's me. I never went. Trevor went, nigga, you fucking lying. I was like, man, give me my shit.
Why would you do this?
Cause you know what I wanted to see? I was putting it to the test. Cause I wanted to see if the superficialness exists on both sides.
And?
It does, but not the same. Because
I
like,
would
it's
never,
not the
I
same.
would never
It's not the
react like that. I just don't understand people. I definitely wouldn't cry. I wouldn't be like, that's not you. I would just take it for what it is. I would never give that kind of reaction.
But like women always want you to be your best self though. Because
Yeah, I think she was concerned.
after that, they like, hey man, concerned. I'm fucking 21. Like a nigga gained some weight in college. Everybody,
it's
people
like-
have a freshman 50. I had a freshman 75.
Yeah. And it's like, are you okay? Like, is it, because sometimes people gain it for depression. Sometimes like there could be a health issue, like a thyroid issue. Maybe
Thyroid.
she was concerned.
I had a thyroid issue, all right. I had an issue with my thighs. That's where the weight goes. Some people have a thyroid issue.
Mine goes to my thighs too.
Mine goes right to the thighs. But I'm happy that it goes to the thighs because it makes it, sometimes people will look at me and not know how much I weigh because it's in the thighs. It doesn't really necessarily go to the face or other places. My arms are always kind of nice, but the thighs, I'm thick. I'm a thick ass nigga. No ass, but big thighs. You ever seen a girl like that?
Yeah.
See those girls?
Yeah.
Have the fat, flat booty? I got that. No ass, but thighs.
Fat, flat booty.
There was a girl named Veronica.
We can't take days off.
Why?
Look at where we are right now. Look at where we are. From escorts to fat,
They brought
flat
it up.
booties.
Fat, flat booty. Because your booty has meat on it, but there's no butt. That's
we got it. We got
So
it.
my shit, you know what I'm saying? You have meat on your
We
booty,
got it.
but there's no actual butt. You don't have a shelf. In order to have like a real
shelf.
you gotta have like a little because you could.
SpongeBob-ish. Yeah. Very,
No,
very,
nigga, I'm not like that. The SpongeBob Square ass. Nobody said that, dog.
But-
Bernard, you know what, bro?
Bernard, that was a good comparison, Bernard.
Bernard, you know what? nigga, you're going to have to make a decision on this pod because it's already Rachel and Jade clicking up. Donnie is useless. Like, Donnie is not going to be on our side. Donnie is on his side. He has a nice family. He's a true
Donnie's
American.
in the middle.
Donnie's not in the middle. Donnie is Donnie is Donnie.
Donnie is Donnie. I like that. Donnie is Donnie.
Yeah, Donnie is the one person at the Ringer, to me, that's like best positioned to like run a studio. Like they come to Donnie, like, Donnie, the fucking last Fantastic Four movie didn't make any money. Donnie's gonna be like, okay, we'll make it back on the next one.
That is not how Donnie sounds. Donnie, feel free to step in at any point.
Like, we'll make it, like, Donnie, don't panic.
That was a bad impression. Put some bass in my voice.
Like,
Damn it.
Donnie,
Put some
Donnie,
bass. He said, put some bass in.
we'll make it back on the
He
next one.
literally doesn't sound like that.
He doesn't sound
Okay.
like that. All right, let's go.
Let's talk about Kevin Hart. He was on The Breakfast Club and responded to the criticism surrounding Tony Hinchcliffe's now infamous joke about George Floyd during the Netflix roast of Kevin Hart.
Yeah, the George Floyd joke, it wasn't a tasteful joke to our culture, to our audience, but our audience that's watching the roast, if you're watching the roast, you get why they're doing it. You get why the racial humor is on the table. Like, it's not, I wasn't shocked. Like, that's what they do. Go look at the Tom Brady one. Like, that's what they do. It happens every year when they do a roast. It's not new. This isn't it's not a new agenda. It's not a new approach to comedy.
Do you feel like Tony Hinchcliffe went too far when he made that joke about George Floyd?
It's Tony Hinchcliffe.
Yeah.
Like, I don't expect less. I don't expect more.
I feel like you're saying going too far is the point. I don't want to put words in your mouth.
Yes, I mean, that's why you're there.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate to say this, but I'm going to because we're being honest. People are talking about that joke. Talk about his set. Tony Hinchcliffe arguably had the best set, or one of the best sets, between Tony and Cheryl, and I would say Naeem had a really strong set.
Naeem had a very strong set. I was laughing out loud at Tony until that joke.
Until the joke.
But not even just that joke. I don't like when people joke about violent, tragic death. I liked Pete's set, and then I was like, why you had to say anything about Charlie Kirk?
Pete had a great set too. Pete had a Charlie Kirk joke in there. Like, would I tell those jokes? No. But do I get why they're being told? Mm-hmm. Yes. Like, I'm not looking at Pete crazy. I'm not looking at Tony crazy. Like, that's what, I know what you're going to do. They talked about my dead mom and my dead dad. Said that they were running a train on my mom. And
that was hilarious.
Right?
It was
that was crazy. Yeah, that was, Regina killed that.
Right?
Oh, wait, that's right. You probably should say killed that.
The jokes about Kevin was on a slave ship in a bottle with like the ship in the bottle. Like, I'm going to appreciate humor. I don't get affected by the attempt of humor. I get it, right? In this case, like, do more. It's my production. We're live. The more is what? Like, what is it that you expect me? You want me to take a live production and stand up and fight Tony or have a reaction? Like, Tony told a joke. It wasn't a tasteful joke to us. We didn't like it. Okay. Hey, man, fuck that joke.
Thoughts.
There's a part in I listened to the whole interview, not the whole interview, but at least his entire time talking about the roast. There's a part in there where he talks about he understands that there's consequences for jokes. Mm-hmm. So if you understand that, why is he continuing to talk about it, or even what feels like defending it? Because if you understand that not everybody is going to accept the joke, mm-hmm. and not everyone is going to be okay with certain jokes that are made, no matter how we understand a roast is different. And typically before, roasts have not been so public, so this audience may not understand it in that way, not saying still what happened was okay. Why are we still talking about it? Because I guess because I even saw Kevin Hart posted something about it, and again, he's kind of defending what he did. And my thought is, if you believe in what you believe in and you understand there are consequences for it, why are you still trying to convince people otherwise? Like, it was a little bit frustrating to hear him in the clip that you heard, and even if you go listen to that section of the interview in its entirety, because he would say things like, I didn't say the joke, he said the joke. And it felt like you're dismissing the whole guilty by association, and also dismissing a very good point that was made in that interview, that you can't say you were up there and they said this about your family member, or another comedian was up there and they said something that could be deemed as crossing the line for them. George Floyd was not on stage. George Floyd can't be on stage. George Floyd is not here. George Floyd has become a symbol of police brutality against Black people in this country. It was hurtful. And then even to be dismissive of like what the brother was saying and making a joke out of that, it just feels like you're not understanding that how hurtful that could be to people. Or you're saying you are, but then you're making excuses for it at the same time. And it feels like you're being more of a defender of Tony Hinchcliffe and the presence of him when he has a pattern of racist jokes than it is for an understanding of people who feel like George Floyd represents so much more, and you're not listening to what the community is saying. Like, George Floyd did not ask to be a punchline, specifically the punchline being about I can't breathe.
Okay, so let's take this a couple of different ways. First of all, on the why is he still talking about this, I agree. I don't understand the, just from a PR standpoint, I don't understand just like keeping this story going.
I don't either.
Right. But to your point, I'll ask you a question. You say, if he understands that there are consequences, why is he still talking? Do you think it's important to negotiate consequences?
I don't know if I think it's important. I can understand why you would do it if there's some level of understanding to the other side that feels a certain way. Or like, I guess the reason why there's a consequence. Like, if he was more understanding to me of why people are offended, then I understand maybe the negotiation. But I don't think this doesn't feel like a negotiation.
What I'm asking you is not even specific to Kevin Hart, just in general. Do you think when you do something, someone says, hey, this is the consequence, do you think it's important to have a conversation?
Yeah, because I can't say that I haven't done that at all.
It always is.
Yeah.
So him doing that doesn't really bother me. Right? Him doing that doesn't really bother me because we always do that. We negotiate consequence as a part of a societal pact that we make with one another. We negotiate consequence actually in legal proceedings. Like, what is a fair sentence? Like, what is fair? We are always going to ask that question because we're in community with one another. So when something happens, you might understand that there is consequence for it.
Sure.
But you also might say, are you guys treating me fairly based upon what I've done? And we do that for almost everything. So I don't think I have a problem with that.
But this interview is not the first time he was addressing it. Like, he'd already said something. Because I was shocked when I saw this, because I was like, okay, you're still talking about it? In the same way. Nothing changed. I thought, if you're going to go on here and maybe have a different conversation, then sure. This gave him more space to talk about it, but it wasn't anything different. So I was kind of like, well, why are we still doing this?
Well, I mean, the reason why he's doing it.
Well, I get why he's doing it.
I mean, he thinks he's right, right? And so he thinks he's right. He doesn't think that might be a couple of reasons. I don't want to get in the guy's head, but it's obvious that he thinks he's right, right? He's going on one of the biggest platforms in the culture to have what he feels like is a cultural conversation to either convert people to the way that he thinks or for it to be crystal clear how he's approaching this. And that is what it is. People do that all the time. From a PR standpoint, I don't think that this served him. I think that this prolonged the fucking conversation, and it actually raised new concerns for a lot of people about Kevin Hart. Now, I did something with this.
What did you do?
I was on record saying that the roast didn't really bother me that much, right?
You did.
I'll tell you why the roast didn't bother me. Because it's comedy. It's comics talking about comics doing comic stuff. I normally, in those types of situations, have my opinions, but I also let people kind of police their own culture in that way. Comedian stuff. Comedians within comedians doing comedian stuff, whatever. Some of it's going to be offensive to me. Some of it I don't always think is useful. That's why even in other times that we've had conversations about jokes that have gone too far, we've brought comedians on to talk about that to see how they feel, right? It's always, it's funny. It's like when an NBA player is talking about flopping, to me, the flopping in this league has got out of control. I'm always like, nigga, what you talking about me? Why you talking to me about the flop? Nigga, it's your league. Stop flopping. It's your league. Don't talk to me about the flopping. But I actually called comedians. Okay. I actually worked this story. I called comedians, a bunch of comedians, and I talked to them.
Did you ask them specifically about this joke or the roast?
I asked specifically about this situation.
Okay.
And there is zero uniformity. And if anything, there are a lot of people who do not like the way this is being handled. I did not speak to personally, and maybe they were being this way because they were talking to me. I did not personally speak to a lot of comics that were like, yeah, man, this is how we do it. They understood that a roast is a roast.
Yeah.
This is the takeaway. They understood that a roast is a roast. They do understand that. But on the backside of this, there are a lot of people, I'm just being honest, who are bewildered at the way that Kevin Hart is handling this.
Yeah.
Like there are a lot of people that don't seem to buckle under the all-powerful, omnipotent culture of comedy to just say that is what it is. They pointed out a bunch of things about this particular roast that made it different, that made it a little off kilter, and made it like unique to past roasts in the tradition of roasting that made this one feel a little insidious.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not shocked. I would have been shocked if you said it went the other way.
There were some that were like that. To be honest, there were some that were like, we need to have this conversation so that we can be free as comics to have our free speech. But all of these people were black. I talked to a lot of comedians that were like, not only is this shit like not above board for us, but this is weird.
Yeah, it like
say a lot. I talked to like 7 guys. So
but that's a lot.
7 people.
That's a lot. I think the thing too is I didn't expect Kevin Hart to dial it back, because I think that if he does change his tone on this, then too much falls on him. Because the question becomes, people are coming out like Nikki Glazer's like, oh, I'm glad I didn't do the podcast. Kevin asked me to do it. Kevin asked people personally to be a part of the roast. So if you say Tony Hinchcliffe went too far or Shane Gillis went too far, then the question becomes, why were they ever invited to be a part of this? And that to me is a question as well. Now, on The Breakfast Club, he said he doesn't think Shane Gillis is racist. He doesn't think Tony Hinchcliffe is racist. He knows these guys personally, so he doesn't see them in that way. But I think a lot of people would not, or I think, I'm assuming here for comedians, would not have invited a Tony Hinchcliffe because there is a pattern with him. These aren't just one-off jokes. He has made jokes off stage about racial jokes to people, other comedians off stage that have gotten him in trouble, dropped from his agency. If you watch Kill Tony, most of the time those comedians that come on there try to say racist jokes because that's what that audience likes. That's what Tony Hinchcliffe likes. That's the kind of stuff that he praises. So to invite that into your roast when this roast is about celebrating a black comedian, and then you invite people to laugh at black pain, if he doesn't support it, then too much falls on him. So I'm actually not shocked by any of this.
What do you mean if he doesn't support it too much?
If he doesn't say,
if he doesn't come back out and double and triple down.
Yeah, like he's got to be like, that's a roast. That's just comedy, blah, 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 blah. Because if he's like, yeah, he went too far, then it's, why did you ever invite that person
maybe he believes
to your roast? He believes what?
Maybe he believes in the no holds barred aspect of comedy where this is a roast and this is what happened. Maybe he believes it. He's purporting to believe it.
Well, he has to.
Right.
That's the one PR. He has to.
Right.
If he doesn't, it opens up too many other doors of how this was even allowed to happen.
You know what this is really about? And it's really interesting to me is that, like, for me personally, I think it's important that everyone knows something, and it's that Black people don't like to see Black subjugated to anything. There is no culture that should overtake your duty as a Black person. Tell you what I mean by this. Black comedy. People are going to ask, which culture is more important, the Black or the comedy?
Yeah.
Black police officer. Which culture is more important,
Yeah.
the Black or the police officer? If you are saying I am blue before I am Black, then that means a nigga is going to get punched in his fucking face. Or a Black man, as a Black woman, is going to be abused because you are in the middle of a culture that can be dangerous to Black people, and you ain't gonna say nothing because you blue and not Black. If it's we're gonna talk later about Abdul Carter and Jaxson Dart and the sanctity of the NFL locker room. Are you an NFL player, or are you a Black NFL player that will stand in the gap against racism or racist policies? Will you disturb the sanctity of the locker room, the culture of the NFL, for your Blackness? If you do not do that, if you're a Black TMZ employee, if you're the Black Bachelorette, if you don't do that, Black people feel unprotected by you.
Yeah.
And if they feel unprotected by you, they feel like they cannot trust you. And if they cannot trust you, they'll find somebody else that they trust to support. So the question in all of this stuff is, it's a fundamental one. I don't know if it's a fair question. I don't know if it's a fair question, but I think, it's fair to me, but in the grand scheme of things, it's not fair that we have to ask it, right? What is more important? If you're a Black comic, what's more important, the Black or the comic? Because if there are rules in comedy that make Black people feel less protected, less seen, more exposed, then people are going to be like, fuck your jokes. And that's fair. All of this is fair. All of this is fair to me. All of these are fair questions to ask. But when people are asking them, it's important that people know, Kevin Hart or anyone else, that they're not asking these questions like with an objective view of the lens of freedom of speech in America. They're asking these questions in context.
Yeah.
And the context is 400 plus years of some of the worst torture, degradation, and disenfranchisement in the history of the world. And it's difficult to put that to the side for a laugh. And I get it, right? I get it. You know, did I ever tell you the conversation that I had with the Nation of Islam guy?
I don't think so.
We haven't talked about this?
I don't think so.
So let me tell you some wisdom I got. So something that happened at TMZ, I'm not sure what it was. I really, seriously, sincerely cannot remember the story. But I'm on with a member of the Nation of Islam. And there was something that had been put on the website or said on the television show that I feel like did not represent factually and accurately something that happened with the Nation. I really don't remember what it was.
Okay.
Like I tried to remember, I couldn't remember what it was. So I make a couple calls and I get on with somebody from the Nation to try to fix it, to try to fix whatever, have some type of situation, bridging the gap between the Nation of Islam and TMZ. It's not going to happen for a lot of reasons. Okay. But I was trying, as was what I thought my function at TMZ to be. I'll never forget this conversation. So I'm talking to this brother. And I'm like, hey, so would you want me to do this and put you in touch with this person and have this conversation and all of that stuff? And then I'll put this in this and I'll do this. And he goes, yes. But I want you to understand something. I never forgot this. He goes, if this doesn't go right, we will blame you. I'm like, well, I don't run TMZ. I'm not an editorial voice at TMZ. No. He goes, you are the Black man at TMZ.
Yeah.
He goes, if this doesn't go right, our blame will be for you.
Yeah.
So if you cannot deliver with what it is that you are talking about doing right now, then we would rather be in community with you in this way, then we would be misrepresented on a platform as large as yours. Yeah. We're going to blame you if it goes wrong. And I went, shit. Well, I can't promise that I'm going to produce something or say something and when it gets above me that it's going to change. I can't promise that we're going to do a lot of work and then they're going to put it on a website or put it in TMZ Live or put it on TMZ on TV. I can't promise none of that. Mm-hmm. I actually do not have the nuts at this place to promise you that anything is going to go the way that I want it. So we just didn't do it. But I always thought about that because it was something that I knew just reflexively, having been there for a long time. But I think it's something that the more you climb the ladder, a lot of Black people forget it. Specifically, they forget the responsibility of cultural stewardship. And I do not think that they forget it on purpose.
Yeah, they get farther and farther away from it.
Right. And so like they forget that truth, that if you are Black, protection is not desired. It's expected.
It's expected.
And so if you get to a point and people feel like you're not into that you don't give a fuck about that, they're going to stop giving a fuck about you. And not everyone, but certainly some people.
You know what? The only thing I would say about that particular situation and what's not fair, if you had not had that conversation and then he saw something and knew that you were the Black guy on TMZ, fair for him to feel that way about you. But if he knew how hard you worked and what your intention was personally because he was dealing one-on-one with you, that's not fair to me. I understand the school of thought, but like having that connection with you and knowing what you were trying to do, it would be unfair for me for him to hold you to that standard.
I disagree.
All right. Well,
but you know why?
I get why he's doing it. I just don't think it's as fair. Like if I'm, I don't know, Bachelorette's not quite the same, but I understand. There was a level of responsibility I felt on that show. Like once I left the show, The Bachelorette. Once I left The Bachelorette, it was like, yeah, whether you watch this show or not, there are Black people who watch it. There are Black people who come on this show. Anytime they ask me a question, I'd be like, yeah, it should be the Black person. It should be this. Like that was, I felt like, well, I've opened this door. I'm not gonna be like, well, I got it. Let me pull up the ladder, now that I'm here. I feel like I have this space and this opportunity to talk about, being Black and representing myself in this way on that show. If I didn't, I understand why people would be like, look at her. Look at what she did. But if somebody had a particular issue and I was working with them and they knew that I was trying and I'm like, hey, I went and talked to this person, I'm coming back and I'm telling you what this is, and then it still doesn't work out because I'm not on a certain level or I don't have the power, I would feel a certain way if they were still holding me to a certain standard, knowing how hard I worked to get something done for them, and I did as much as I could.
So I understand what you're saying. Let me tell you why I always took what he was saying to heart. And I do believe in it because in that situation, particularly if you're coming from where he's coming from, intention really doesn't matter. The only thing that matters is execution. And I think this is an interesting conversation.
I can't disagree.
With what we're talking about with Kevin Hart, because at different times in this Breakfast Club interview, Kevin Hart said, this is a Netflix thing. I don't want to interrupt this production. He, in a way, both tried to communicate that he is the man and this is the thing and this is what he believes. But then at the same time, he also tried to say, yo, just let you know this is above my head because this is Netflix, because this is that. So what I'm saying is that thing is never going to work. What he was essentially telling me is that if you take this responsibility to try to, and I have plenty of disagreements with the Nation of Islam, right? But what I can tell you is that right now, if it was a bunch of KKK people or skinheads that was coming to my house to try to kill me, I'm going to call the FOI. Because I know that they're going to be there. I know that they're going to stand in front of the place. I know they're going to provide security. I know they're going to be in proximity and all of that stuff. So that just is what it is. But what I'm saying is for him, he's like, you're saying that your position there is to make sure that we are not culturally misunderstood or taken advantage of. You have to deliver on that. Intention is not enough. Either you can do it or you can't. If you can't do it, don't glamour us into thinking that you can, or let the shit go and we'll figure out a way around it.
And I think the difference with Kevin Hart, what I felt like is like, because in that interview, he's like, nobody's done more for Black comedians.
Yeah, he tried to make it.
Than me. But you're missing the point. That's great. And you've done a lot for Black comedians and put them on in ways because of how you're positioned. And the connections you have and the power you have. You've done that, and no one's taking that away from you. What they're saying is, did you even try with Netflix? Did you even push back? Like, that's what they would want to know. If I knew that Kevin Hart was like, I don't want Tony Hinchcliffe, I don't want this person, or hey, the community's going to feel a certain way because of this person's pattern, because of what they've seen him do, at the Republican National Convention, or this person got fired for making a racist joke, not fired, but never got an opportunity on SNL because of a racist joke he made. Like that kind of thing. It's like, were you in the rooms fighting for the Black community in that way? That's what people want to hear. They don't want to hear you just say, well, it was Netflix's production, there's really nothing I can do. Because they feel like if one hand you're saying you've got power like this, they feel that you have power in other ways too. I think I could let it go a little bit if I knew that there was something within him that pushed back against the type of roast that we ended up seeing. Right. It doesn't seem to be that way because, to your point, it does seem like he is putting being a comedian first in this situation. I can't speak for all situations, but in this situation, it feels like he's putting comedy first.
Yeah. And that's all. That's the question. That's the question.
Yeah.
All right, Donnie, politics.
Politics. U.S. launches new strikes on Iran. Iran accused the U.S. this week of a clear violation of the ceasefire between the two countries after we launched the defensive strike that threatened to disrupt intensifying talks to end the war. 2 U.S. officials said the U.S. military strikes were in direct response to what they described as 24 hours of missile, drone, and small boat launches carried out by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps near the Strait of Hormuz. What are your thoughts on the latest out of the conflict in the Middle East?
Well, I have a deep geopolitical expertise on this particular issue. And I guess when I distill it and I boil it down, my takeaway is that the Trump administration is fucking stupid for starting a war with no way to win the war other than to revert back to a deal. It's the bones of a deal that had been negotiated bloodlessly almost a decade ago. Now, there is no way out of the war short of striking political defeat for Donald Trump or the annihilation of the Iranian civilization, which he continues to threaten over and over again. I guess this is a question that I have. We'll have to answer it right now is, you want peace.
Of course.
The only way for there to be peace is for Trump to essentially declare victory and leave Iran. That's the only way for there to be peace. There's no other way. Because while that's...
Peace for who?
For the Iranians and for everyone involved.
Well, the same regime would be there. So I guess that's why I'm like, peace for who?
What do you mean?
Well, the regime was problematic for the Iranian people, which is why that in the diaspora, they were celebrating because they thought that Trump was in there, as he originally said, to overthrow it. So that's why I say peace for, I get what you mean. There's a level of peace, but not peace for everybody, and which is almost impossible.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
And this is not in any way to minimize the concerns or the beliefs of the Iranian diaspora in any way. How many people from inside of Iran have we talked to?
We haven't. I mean, other than, we haven't.
So we're essentially making, and I'm not saying that this is not true.
Yeah.
But we're essentially making a lot of determinations about life in Iran that are formulated and given to us by Western media. And
not true.
Well, yeah.
With the protesting and all, like the cutting off of their internet and the reports of the tens of thousands of people that were being killed because of the protesting, that's not just coming from Western media.
Right, but this is what I would say. What I would say, it's not just, well, some of it is coming from Western media.
Well, some of it, of course.
Let me kind of get out what I'm trying to say. Number one, we have seen vast protests in Iran over the course of many amounts of years that let us know that there are people inside of Iran that want different for themselves. Mm-hmm. The question becomes, is that enough reason to bomb them?
No.
Exactly. So when I say peace, for example, like Renee Good has been killed, Alex Pretty's been killed. Black people right now are the results of police brutality for sea to shining sea all the time, right? I don't feel like I live a peaceful existence here in America. Would that be enough for a foreign country to go, I'm going to liberate the people of the black people of America by bombing Baton Rouge, right? Because if we're getting to that level, then we have to have a clear set of objectives as to how we are going to give my people their country back. And so when I say peace, I mean getting back to the situation before we began this war and like 165 school children were killed and the infrastructure of the country is being ravaged. If right now there is some understanding that someone can give me about how any of this is going to make the Iranian people free, change the trajectory of Iranian civilization, I'm willing to listen, but I haven't heard that. I haven't heard it explained. Not only have I not heard it explained, I haven't heard anyone try to explain it in months. I haven't heard the name of Reza Pahlavi in months, the gentleman who is an Iranian expat who lives over in Maryland, who some people would say would be a transitional leader and would bring the monarchy back. I haven't heard any of that. I've heard Strait of Hormuz. I've heard gas prices. I haven't heard anything about the Iranian people and what they're going through. So when I say peace, I would assume that if I could talk to people inside of Iran, that they wouldn't want their civilization bombed back or bombed out of existence. That's what I'm basically trying to say.
Yeah, no. Everything you were saying is correct. The only reason I brought that up is because I want to make space for the fact that the regime over there is extremely problematic, and it has been since 79. And that's the only thing I'm making peace for. As a woman living over there who wants more for herself, who wants more freedom, she does not live a peaceful life. That's the only thing I'm making space for. You are correct, because obviously we both agree that the way to go about this, I mean, we disagreed from the moment they started this at the end of February. So I'm just more so saying, I'm speaking of the individual there. I think the reason we're not hearing about it in the way that we did, because what was said is this is why we're going over there, because of regime change, right? So we were seeing more of it. But we know at the end of the day, it was really about business and money and all of that with the Trump administration. So I was just making space for that. You're right. I get it. I'm just saying.
It's tough. It's tough.
It's a good point you make about being black in the United States and not feeling peace. But the same thing over there. I'm just making space for that.
First of all, I'm not comparing.
This was not the way to do it.
I'm not comparing the regimes. I'm just saying.
No.
What I'm trying to say is that, like, I do feel like, though, making too much space for that argument now, in a way, kind of justifies the thinking that not just there, but in places like Cuba, that America has to come in and save the day. And it almost gives, in a way, carte blanche for us to do it anytime that we want to do it.
No. Because I've said the same thing about Venezuela. I would say the same thing about Cuba. I would say the same thing. I'm not in agreement that we should go over there and overthrow governments. We know that does not work, never works out well. I'm just simply saying, when you said peace, that there are still people over there. I do not agree. This was always going to end bad. This never needed to happen this way. And to your point, they would much rather not be having school children bombed or not knowing what the future is of the state of their country with the way that they went about it. I was just making that small little thing about, you know, the protests that have been going on there and what it is to live there, particularly as a woman in Iran. I'm not saying that that should justify us ever going over there and trying to overthrow a regime.
Fair enough. I guess what I'm saying is when I was saying peace, I meant the absence of this type of war. I didn't think that there would be, you know, perfection in the Iranian civilization. And essentially, of course, there is no love for a repressive, theocratic government that doesn't rule by democracy or human rights or any of that stuff. You're going to criticize it other places in the world. You got to criticize it everywhere. I'm just saying that this particular war
for sure
has been uniquely useless, violent, threatens a wider regional war that basically already is happening, has realigned global power dynamics to a degree to where not only does Iran want to control the Strait in perpetuity now, you might have other governments who are looking around and seeing, where can we grab regional influence and power by controlling vital waterways or other types of things that can hold the world economy hostage? All of this stuff. I don't think any of this shit should be that much of an issue, because I think you should all have fucking solar panels on your houses and we should change the grid over to electric, all of that shit. But to me, when I'm looking at this, what I'm trying to figure out is, how do you end the killing that's happening here? How do you end the killing? How do you get things? And the only way to do it is for Trump to take his L wrapped in the bow of a win. It's very difficult for him to do that because he can't win. Either he loses politically, right? Or the Iranian civilization loses life, blood, people. Right. The women that we were talking about being oppressed, they're going to be dead.
Subjected to that, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
No, there's no putting it back in the bottle at this point. And that's the thing. It's like all that they've gone over there and done is played battleship, right? Their claim to fame is that, you know, they've destroyed pretty much their naval fleet. That's non-existent, but they still have their speedboats that are laying mines in the Strait of Hormuz. Yeah. So really nothing has been done. And so they're never going to go back to the way that things are. So to your point, they either claim a victory and lie to, you know, your base here, who will believe whatever you say, but then you completely lose the control or any power that you have over there. I was going to ask you, how long do you think this is going to go? There's no, you know, they always say, oh, you keep saying there's no end in sight. It just started. It's only been this many months. That's what always, their defense is. And, you know, we're going in there. We've been able to destroy all these ships. But I'm like, but literally you had so many goals when you said you were going to go over there. What's up with the uranium? What's up with the regime? Right. What's another thing? I mean, I guess they've destroyed, you know, some of the factories above ground, but they still have retained a lot of their missiles that are underground. Mm-hmm. So everything that they're reporting to us or that they're saying that they were going to accomplish, they haven't. And there's no progress being made, no negotiations being made. And I don't even know how you could trust a negotiation when you talk about a ceasefire and then you're doing defensive strikes, and you're saying that they're doing strikes, or you're watching an alleged ceasefire that was supposed to happen between Israel and Gaza, and they're still over there bombing them. Yeah. So why would you have any faith in a ceasefire or believe it that's coming from the U.S. when you're seeing what's happening over there? Why would you believe any of their negotiations when you see what's being done over there? Every single time you say ceasefire, there continues to be bombing, whether it's in Lebanon, whether it's in Gaza, whether it's in Israel, whether it's in Iran. It's like, what faith would you even have with these negotiations?
I don't even know what a ceasefire is anymore. If I'm standing in front of somebody and we not gonna fight, and then you kick me in the nuts, I go, hey. So he goes, I didn't punch you in the face. I'm like, what? I just kicked you in your nuts, kicked your balls. I didn't punch you in the face. The ceasefire's still on. The truth's still on. I'm like, no, you're kicking me in my nuts, but I didn't punch you in the face, didn't hit you directly in the nose. There's no blood. We're not fighting unless there's blood. I don't even know what ceasefire is anymore. Like with ceasefire, Israel's going crazy in Lebanon. Drop Site's doing all the reporting, right? There's independent media out there that's reporting on all of this stuff. There's been no real ceasefire in Gaza. None of the international reputation of the United States is completely shot. We love to attack under the guise of international negotiation. There's nothing. The only thing that is left is to pack it up and go home. But even then, though, Donald Trump declares victory in one way, in every situation, not just in this situation. There's one way that Donald Trump declares victory, and that's to break your will. That's the way he does it. Like, Donald Trump declares victory in breaking your will. Nothing is a negotiation. It's all a power play. A negotiation is a situation where at the end of it, everybody loses a little bit and wins a little bit. You don't have a president that is okay with that. You have a president that's okay with ultimate surrender and dictatorial behavior, not just internationally, but domestically. So he has clearly not been able to break the will of the Iranians.
Yeah.
Every time he challenges them, they say, fuck it, let's go. Like my man, well, you remember Snow on the Bluff? Fuck it, we ball. Okay? Every single time let's do it. Come on, let's do it. Now, they want a deal. Don't get me wrong. They want a deal because they're being decimated. But at the same time, they keep talking this cash money shit. They not getting out of his way.
No.
They gonna stay there. So the thing is, if we have people that were mature and understood what kinds of negotiations need to happen for there to be peace, you'd have somebody go over there and be like, okay, blah, 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 it's going to look bad, all of this, declare victory, get out. But you can't, because that's not politically expedient for the president. The only thing that's politically expedient for him is to essentially make Iran a colony of the United States of America, and they're not going for that.
No, they're
not. And they've said it a bunch of times. They're not going for that. So I don't know. All right, fine. I don't know what's happening right now. It's tough. It's tough. Enjoy your gas prices. You voted for it. Okay, Donnie, the courts.
All right. Some potentially good news in the fight against redistricting. A federal court blocked Alabama from using a newly proposed congressional map for the 2026 elections, ruling that the map likely discriminated against Black voters. The court said that Republican-backed map would reduce the state from having 2 majority Black or near majority Black congressional districts down to 1, despite Black residents making up about 27% of the state's population. Judges ruled that Alabama lawmakers intentionally weakened Black voting power when redrawing these lines, calling the map unconstitutional under the Voting Rights Act. Now, this will be appealed, but in the immediate, it looks like a win.
Huh.
Yeah, we talk about Alabama and South Carolina at the same time.
Yeah.
Do you want to give a little bit on South Carolina?
Yeah, Donnie, do it.
All right. Yeah, same situation. The South Carolina Senate rejected an effort backed by Trump to redraw the state's congressional districts ahead of the election. This proposed map was designed to help Republicans potentially gain another House seat by reshaping districts currently represented by Democrats. Republican lawmakers in South Carolina declined to move forward with the plan, with some expressing concerns about changing the district maps so close to the election cycle. So, yeah, again, another win, but we'll see how long that win lasts.
Made some calls here. My people in South Carolina told me, made calls. Tiffany let me know. They said that the question I asked was, people I know in South Carolina was it the fact that Rep. Clyburn is so well respected? Is that one of the reasons why this didn't? And Rachel was like, no. They said no. That's not why. Part of this is just a rebuke of the feds. They don't like being told what to do in South Carolina. That's what I was told. They don't like being told what to do. The president's political power isn't the same way that it is. It's been in the past. Trump's not on the ballot right now. So they decided that at least for now, because this doesn't mean it's going to be like this forever.
Yeah.
At least for now, they're not going to go forward with this.
I don't know if I'm really going to call any of these wins. I think it sounds good right now when you throw it up against what Louisiana and Tennessee are doing, or even Georgia talking about what they plan to do for 2028. I think we're just talking about the inevitable that all these red states will eventually make this happen. And if they do try to, which I will give credit to the Alabama federal court for saying, putting voting rights and putting voters and citizens first, it's going to go to the Supreme Court. And they're going to do exactly what they already did in Louisiana. So it's such a shit show. Like, voting should be simple. And it really just, like, I don't understand anybody that protests that. Like, I'm not talking about politicians. You should be able to, people should run for office. You should be able to go to the ballot, mail in a ballot, early vote on the general election day, and that should be it, right? Of course you should be a citizen. Of course you should have ID, but you should not be making it so hard. Like, anybody who is against this, I would just ask yourself the simple question: why should it be hard to vote? I'm not talking about somebody who's illegal. Why is it hard to vote? Why should it be hard? They would probably say it shouldn't. And then you would throw in this kind of stuff. Then why are they doing this? Because they are manipulating, which we've talked about at great length.
There's no place you can vote without ID, by the way.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm just saying, like, if somebody tries to take what I'm saying in a different way, I want to be very clear. Bernard?
What? You got something to say?
Bernard? We like teachers in the classroom. What's so funny back there? What you laughing at?
What you laughing at over there? You got something to add?
Was that a slight to Rachel for not having her ID?
Oh. I want to say something very clear.
No, we just want to make sure because if she says that, because if
I want to make something very clear. When I leave here and after I go to this event, I plan on early voting. And I want everybody, because when I put on I voted sticker and everybody's like, wait a second, on that podcast, she said she didn't have an ID. I have my passport.
She got the passport.
Okay? I have my passport. And it's particularly in my purse today because I plan on early voting.
I'm just making sure that nobody jumped on Rach because Rachel is saying voter blah blah blah.
I actually panicked.
Yeah.
I literally looked up the laws in California last night because I was freaking out because I'm not going to be here on general election day. I'm out of town, and I was freaking out about the idea of not being able to vote. Okay, because it's too late to do mail-in ballot at this point. I say it's a shit show because obviously dedicating 3 years of my life to going to law school and practicing law for 7 years, you know how I've felt, my dad being a federal judge, about the laws, about the court, the way that I looked at it. And the Supreme Court right now is playing with our voting rights to fit their partisan preferences, which is in complete contradiction of what the Supreme Court or any type of judge is supposed to represent and what our laws in this country are supposed to represent. And the reason I say, like, I shook my head when you were talking about South Carolina, because I don't even think that it's really them saying no to the feds. I think it's just so many people showed up to early vote, and I think that is the voters saying we want our vote to count, that they're like, so many people have voted at this point that we're going to go ahead and let this primary happen because we don't want to deny these people of the fact that they were voting, which good for them. But they're basically saying that we're going to let this primary happen and then we're going to revisit it when it comes to the midterms and the general election. So that's why I say it's the inevitable. But fine. Shout out to the voters who went early and said there's so many of them, we need our votes to count. And they actually honored that. In Alabama, I'll give the federal judges their due because they said we already ruled that this map is illegal and it discriminates against Black voters particularly, and that is the map we're going to put in place. So even in viewing the Supreme Court's decision and looking at what they said, we still believe that our map, the map that was put in front of us, should not be greenlit because it's discriminatory on the balance of racism. Now, it's going to go up to the Supreme Court, and it's such a high standard to prove that because remember, as we discussed before, if you can prove that it's political more than it's racial, then it counts, which is insane to say out loud anyway. So it's gonna get turned down regardless. It was nice when I first saw these headlines, but the more that I read into it, it's like these maps are gonna get changed anyway, and there's honestly no way to fix it unless you vote the right people into your local Congress and national Congress to try to not let these things happen, these maps be redrawn. I said something wrong?
I rebuke your nihilism. I rebuke your nihilism. I rebuke your cynicism. I'm counting 2 wins.
Do you know why I have to talk like that? Because I don't want people to be like, everything's turning, it's working. No,
they would have to be morons to think that at this point.
Well, no. People read headlines. People read headlines.
But
and I want them to understand the depth of the headline.
Contextualizing it is one thing, but the reality is there are things that you can pull from both of these that signal wins, and you kind of got to talk about the wins to me. No, I'm not being a contrarian.
No, me.
I don't know.
I said, am I being the one now? Not you.
I don't like to use that fucking term because a lot of times when people use that term, it's just to depress actual conversation and people's actual real feelings about. I apologize. Okay, so it's too much. It's about to be a May crash out. No, okay. So 2 reasons why I will call. Yes. Right. 2 reasons why I'll call these. They're not total victories. You're right, but number 1. The Alabama judges legitimately called out the racism.
They did.
They called out the racism here. 2 of those judges, or at least are Trump appointed.
You're right, 2.
They called out the racism here. They said, the judges said, so people know, when you are watching late night television, Fox News, whoever you watch on your fucking podcast, and everyone's trying to tell you that this is not about race, the judges in this case, 2 Trump-appointed judges, said, guess what? This is blatantly racial and discriminatory. They looked at it, that's what they said, right? That in and of itself, I have to be like, yes. Because you have 2 people that probably don't share the same political beliefs that I do. This doesn't absolve them from, we could go through there, they put this nigga in, whatever. This doesn't absolve them from any of the beliefs they may have or may not have. In this particular situation, they were willing to say something and put it out there that it doesn't seem like the judicial is willing to do right now, which is to say, this is discriminatory, this is racist, and we are here to stop this from affecting Americans.
Yeah.
So I got to count that as a win and take a glimmer of hope. Not that this won't get fucked up by the Supreme Court or whatever, but a glimmer of hope in that we can still get there. In the case of South Carolina, they bucked the president. They bucked the president even slightly at a time. Some Republicans have actually even accused McMaster's, the governor, of slow rolling this in a way to silently buck the president so that he can do it without having to do it. And there are internal talks about whether or not South Carolina wants this for their state. Yeah. I'm not so sure that South Carolina actually wants this for their state.
Because I hope I'm wrong.
I don't know whether or not you're wrong or I'm right, but there is enough dysfunction in South Carolina around this for me to believe that there are certain people there that are going along with the motions for this to, I guess, placate the president. And then there are certain people who think that this is a bridge too far and they're not quite willing to move on it. And if you kick the can all the way to the midterms, then maybe there's a chance that it doesn't happen.
Well, listen, to your point, the only way that they allowed this to not move forward and to keep the maps in place was for state Republican senators to join the other side.
Right.
So if that continues, and I hope you're right, maybe this will spread on. Because the Alabama, and I know you were just talking about South Carolina, the Alabama judges are doing what they were sworn in to do. They are putting the law first. They use this thing called the Purcell principle, which it's a doctrine within federal courts where courts should generally avoid changing rules too close to an election to avoid voter confusion.
That was a huge, huge part of what they did. They were like, we can't change this because people aren't going to know what districts they're voting in and all of that stuff. They did it for democracy partly.
Exactly. Voting matters. It is your voice. It is important. And to do otherwise, which is what the Alabama courts are saying, is to deny people their voting right. It's completely against democracy to be in favor of what? To manipulate voting to benefit a particular party, to be partisan, which is again, so crazy that that's what the Supreme Court said you could do. You can manipulate the system in favor of your political party.
That court always been on some bullshit, Rachel.
Well, you know.
That court has always been on some bullshit now. Okay?
I should have appointed Sam Lindsay.
You think, what if he was on there?
I would.
Is it too late?
My dad's going to be 75 this year.
You know what else I've been thinking about?
He had to go through the Court of Appeals first.
You know what else I've been thinking about as it relates to the Supreme Court? This is not a novel thought. You know, Clarence Thomas is on the Supreme Court, and he is by far the most problematic judge of my lifetime, maybe ever. The most anti-black Supreme Court justice.
Anti-woman, anti-LGBTQ+.
All of it, right? In a functioning society where people that take advantage of women and don't respect women are not allowed to grab the highest rungs of the social and political power ladder, he would have never gotten there. Because we would have been like, hey, you know, he put his pubic hair on a Coke can or whatever. Talk to this woman like this. This is not someone with the required decision-making prowess, the moral standing to make the rules that will govern the lives of millions and millions of women and people. We didn't do that. We didn't do that. We did the same thing that we always do, which is overlook certain things about people and put them in positions to make direct and definitive decisions over people's lives. And that wasn't just a situation that happened on the right. There were many people on the left, the Democratic Party, that for some reason attacked Anita Hill and put black woman, man, and dude in front of right and just. And we're fucking paying for it. Now we can be in a situation where we continue to do that. I'm not getting on a moral horse and looking down at people. I'm the wrong one. I keep trying to tell you guys this over and over again. It feels like I'm being a hall monitor. I'm not. I'm saying that there are things about Clarence Thomas's past and who Clarence Thomas is that should have stopped Clarence Thomas's ascension. They didn't, and we're paying for it now. And how many motherfucking examples of this do we need until we vet people and hold them to different standards for leadership? That's all I'm saying, guys. You gotta look, man. You can't say this. You love Pinky's videos. I'm not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying this at all. I'm not trying to act like I'm just saying, guys, like this is something that could have been hit off at the pass in the early '90s. It wasn't, and look at where the court is now. Not only that, but the full-on assault that's been on the fuck it. All right, let's go. I'm sick of it. There's all this complaining. Can we have a non? What do we have to complain about now? This is a complaining ass podcast that we're doing right now. Are we complaining too much?
No.
You don't think so?
Things suck.
Yeah, but I'm having fun. Oh, you know what? Before we get to Spencer Pratt, what is everyone's opinion on a white wine spritzer? It's refreshing. What do you think? I'm only drinking white wine spritzers the whole summer. I'm not drinking another alcoholic drink.
And how were you introduced to them?
So
you love a light drink.
Love a light drink.
Actually, no. You've been on. No. Let me take that back. I take that back. I stand corrected.
Uh-oh.
Let me not do that to you because lately when I've been around you, you've been like, y'all got Hennessy, and I'll be like,
race.
No, you literally said that.
That's race.
And I was like, that's the hard side. I'm used to you. You usually have like a little umbrella in your drink, and you like, oh, can I get the Hennessy? And I was like,
race.
Okay.
That's race. And you guys don't understand when race is being done from inside your community. Y'all niggas got
that's
Hennessy.
The truth.
Where the Hennessy and the hoes at? That's how she came off right there.
Did I say
that's
that?
That's race. That's the way I took it. That's
your
race.
Fault. That's your fault.
That's race. That's first degree race. right there. And you guys just like that's race.
Well, let's get back to your white spritzer.
They're
fantastic. White wine.
That's for Bernard.
White wine.
White. That's for Bernard. White wine spritzer.
I like white wine, so I like a white wine spritzer.
A white wine spritzer is the perfect drink.
And where did you have it? At Disneyland?
I had one at Disneyland. I had one at the hotel. I had one last night at this boys panel that I moderated. Shout out to a Prime Video, Eric Kripke, the entire creative team of the boys. I moderated a panel there last night. I had a white wine spritzer. Let me tell you what they did at the Pacific Design Center. A bunch of fucking geniuses over there, right? I'm telling you. So I go up to the bar. They got white wine. I'm like, can you guys do a white wine spritzer? They're like, we can do anything. I'm like, whoa. My bad. Okay? We're pros. We can do anything. And the guy looks at me, he goes, you know, like the bartenders always, hold on. The bartenders, he's always like polishing the glass. He looks at me, he goes, hey, you ever had a white wine spritzer with Sprite? I look back at him, I go, nah, nigga, I never had that before. That's some 2072 shit. And he goes, let me put you on. That he did the white wine spritzer with a little Sprite, and God damn it if my life wasn't changed. All summer long, I'm just going to be walking around the neighborhood Friday night, white wine spritzer with Sprite. I like it with the ice in it.
Oh, do you?
Oh, my God.
It is a refreshing drink.
It's a refreshing drink. I don't want to get all fucked up off alcohol going crazy.
You can get fucked up on a white wine spritzer.
Nah, you have to drink a lot. I'm a big guy. Right? Like, I don't want to get all crazy fucked up on like with hanging out with Sean Dickerson, getting all crazy fucked up off drinks.
Sean like that.
They be a lot of drinks at Sean's functions. Sadiq is coming up. There's a lot of drinks there. Remember that time you went to? Did you go to the Diddy party a couple of years ago for Halloween?
No, I did not. When he came as the Joker, no.
When he came as not that one. The next one year after.
No, I didn't.
You went as Batman. You weren't there.
This was a Sadiq party.
It was a Sadiq Halloween party.
I didn't go.
Puff was there as Batman.
You were there.
I was not.
Okay.
I was in New York, but there were people that I know that were there, and I sent them.
But it wasn't. Was it a Diddy party? It was Sadiq though. Like people go to Sadiq.
Sadiq is one of the most amazing, brilliant parties ever.
If I met Sadiq and Diddy pops up, I wouldn't think it was a Diddy party.
That's
I would
the question.
Think he came to the party.
Is any party that Diddy shows up to a Diddy party, or is a Diddy party something that Diddy threw?
Now that the Diddy parties have been defined, and we know there are levels to it, it's. A Diddy party is only a party that Diddy is throwing.
So I think that there should be degrees.
At his residence.
Okay, just, okay. It's like relax, all right? Okay, it's like, I think that there should be degrees to Diddy parties like there are to murder.
Wow.
I
you
do.
just got on me for saying residence.
Just listen.
You just compared it to murder.
No, listen.
Okay, what's third degree?
So a third degree Diddy party is like a corporate party that Diddy threw at like, let's say Diddy throws a party at like fucking, I don't know, the Pacific Design Center or like the W or something like that. That's a third degree Diddy party.
All right.
Cool. A second degree Diddy party would probably be a Diddy party that he threw at his residence, right?
Okay.
So that's you're a second degree Diddy partier, right?
Mm-hmm.
A first degree Diddy party is probably a party with like under 50 or 30 people there where, there's not a lot going on, whatever. And then a capital Diddy party, capital murder, that's a freak off. So there should be, because there's so many people that have been to Diddy parties that you can't put them all in the same. There should be first degree Diddy party, second degree Diddy party, third degree Diddy party, and then capital Diddy party, which is essentially a freak off. So if you went to too many first degree Diddy parties, then it's probably a thing, right? But if you was at a bunch of second or third degree Diddy parties, then these are parties that everybody was at.
Which ones were you at?
Let's
what
talk about
are you getting
Spencer.
Charged with?
It's not a thing, okay? But I would say I probably made it to second degree. But like, look, I just let you guys know, Jade, don't look at me that way.
I have a question on the white wine spritzers. So
okay, go for it. Thank you.
Let's hope there are no more Diddy parties, by the way. But keep going.
There a?
Oh no. That shit is done. Now, so let me tell you what this is. Let me tell you what the deal is. Do you remember when Epstein got out of jail in like 2009?
Mm-hmm.
Or remember? Mm-hmm. There are people that partied with him before. And they're like, hey, man, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. It might have been tough not to know. But there's a different degree of people that partied after. like that partied after Epstein got out. Now, that's kind of the same place that you are in the Puff situation. There are people that partied before that might be able to be like, hey, but see, if you had a party in 28 or 29, you've made a choice.
Agreed. Agreed. Jade, your question?
Go for it.
Is there a difference between white wine spritzers and sparkling white wine?
Sparkling white wine.
What's that, like Prosecco?
No, that's champagne.
No, it's like
what's a sparkling white wine? I've never had
this. It's a sparkling wine. It's just a sparkling wine, but it's white. But I'm like, is there a difference between the spritzer?
Yeah, because the spritzer has you just put club soda in it.
But it
or Sprite for you.
Why y'all trying to complicate shit?
Well, I'm a sparkling wine kind of girl, so that's why
I never even knew that there was sparkling wine.
I don't know if I've ever had sparkling white wine.
What is sparkling wine? Prosecco is not sparkling wine. Prosecco is champagne. Prosecco is the sparkling wine. Okay.
It's a sparkling wine.
So sparkling wine and champagne is not the same thing.
I think a Prosecco is a type of sparkling wine.
Okay.
But I had questions.
I appreciate that question.
I'm interested in these spritzers.
Yeah, they're really good.
They are good. They're really refreshing.
Higher
like
learning.
A Hugo spritz. Oh, you gonna love.
I love a Hugo. I love a Hugo spritz. I love an Aperol spritz. I love all of these things. Shout out Aperol spritz. Sometimes a little bitter.
I don't like the bitters.
Sometimes it's a little bitter. The Aperol spritz. Shout out to Le Petit Trois over there, Melrose. Great restaurant. It's a great place. That's where we're gonna have higher learning. Little dinner. But
where?
Le Petit Trois.
Oh, yeah.
Trois.
Was that your first time? Yeah, it just opened. It's fantastic.
It's been there forever.
They just opened it. I went to the restaurant opening.
Le Petit?
Oh, sorry.
I feel like that was there when I lived there.
Sorry. No.
Thank you, Donnie.
No.
Look at Donnie taking a stand.
No. Sorry. I'm thinking of the restaurant at the PDC. I thought we were still there.
Oh, the Pacific Design Center.
That's
that one's new.
Not Donnie coming in for that.
Yeah, Donnie
offended. No. They have a great pork chop. Or they used to. I know where all the pork chops are.
Pork-based diet. Okay.
All right, let's
Spencer Pratt. Okay, we had to take a little break, guys. We had to take a little break from all of this shit to say stuff about Diddy. I do think that the first degree parties is like.
I thought that was a great comparison.
All right, let's go. Spencer Pratt.
Spencer Pratt.
All right, yeah. The LA mayor challenger, Spencer Pratt, he blasted incumbent mayor Karen Bass's approach to addressing homeless people in the city while also talking about how Seattle would welcome them. Let's hear from Spencer.
What are your plans for the over 40,000 homeless in Los Angeles?
Yeah, they're not homeless. They're drug addicts. Most of these people are addicted to fentanyl and meth. This isn't Spencer making it up.
Are you saying they don't have homes?
There is places for all of these people to sleep in LA. No matter what anybody tells you, we have housing and shelter for everyone that's living on the street. They are choosing to be on the street because they want to do drugs. They don't want rules. They don't want to listen. They want to have animals to abuse. This idea that they're forced on the street right now is a lie that our city is perpetuating. We've paid $24 billion to house these 40,000 people. There's spots for all of these people. They are choosing because they're an addict, and you can do fentanyl and super meth on the sidewalk with no repercussions. These places are not as they have to follow some rules. You can't torture a dog in some of these houses. You can't just attack people. You can't just be naked.
Where are you going to move?
Well, I just released a 9-minute video, so you can.
I think I saw your video.
Yeah, so it's very detailed.
But it's going to take time to build the facility and money.
No.
How fast do you think you can do it?
These people can literally. I went to Washington and I saw miles of the most insane prefabricated housing and building. I asked all the CEOs of these companies, how long does this take? I met with FEMA and HUD, 3 days. 3 days. And all of this is cheaper than trying to take over, kick senior citizens out of their buildings. This is what happens. They kick them out, and then the NGOs come in and they spend 4 years. This is LA. This is LA's timetable.
Where is this facility going to be?
It's on beautiful federal land property.
Where, in LA County?
Well, when I'm mayor, I'll go meet with the federal government and I'll get the property. Right now, I'm just running, so I can't give you the exact address because I don't have the legal responsibility to go represent Los Angeles and say, can I have this land? But when I'm mayor, I promise you, because we have the Olympics coming and everybody in the government wants LA to be the #1 most beautiful city, they will work with me to give me the land I need.
So you're going to move these 40,000 people somewhere and you're going to have this facility up in, you said how long?
Here's what you got to realize.
90 days?
Let me explain something. These 40,000 people, 60% of them, City Watch just announced this week, are not from Los Angeles. They're not from California. These people have been bussed in by scam rehabs, scam NGOs, scam homeless nonprofits. These people, when I unplug them and say, we're not.
He says that he's going to take all the homeless people, round them up and send them to Seattle.
I can't, Van.
You can't what, Rachel?
I cannot do Spencer Pratt right now.
Why? What's wrong?
Go ahead, talk about him.
I found this response really interesting.
Why?
A couple of reasons. Spencer Pratt has run essentially a campaign off being a concerned citizen. That's his campaign. Things happened to him, and they were so terrible that it made him see how much dysfunction existed in Los Angeles. And so now Spencer Pratt has decided that he is going to do his civic duty and become mayor of Los Angeles. Does that sound like somebody who cares?
No, it doesn't, Van.
Does that sound like someone who gives a shit about any of these problems?
No.
Of course it doesn't, right? Now, I will be honest. I have said before that I do not have a problem with a citizen going, hey, my city is not being run right. I am going to run for mayor, run for city council, whatever. I think that's what people should be doing. But if you run on, look at what's happened to LA and look how it's affected me, how could you then turn around and take a problem as serious, dire, and complex as unhoused people in their lives and make it into essentially a moral judgment of the 40 to 60,000 people that live without homes and shelter in Los Angeles? It is anti-human. It's more than anything, it's a political miscalculation for, to me, the campaign that Spencer Pratt has been running. I guess we're to believe that the tragedy of being unhoused only matters if you are a rich person and your home was burned by fire. But everyone else has made the decision that they don't want to live with shelter, functioning government. I mean, all of this stuff, there's so much stuff that goes into this. There's capitalism, there is healthcare, there's the entire kit and caboodle of social dysfunction lead to the type of crisis that we see in Los Angeles. And you need serious people to address it. That's not a serious answer. Not only that, that answer is so deeply unserious that it seems like that's the point of it.
Well, because it's working, at least as far as the attention that it's getting. And he's speaking to people who speak in headlines, who speak in clickbait. And it's working because we've created a society that is what they do. I recently commented on my former coworker, Billy Bush's post because he posted a picture with Spencer. And I said, Billy, I'm really trying to understand why. And of course, he invited me to come on his podcast.
Billy.
Which I will do.
Are you going to go on there?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And the thing is to your point, the reason it's like, the thing speaks for itself. I say that a lot. You always say everybody has different jobs. I always say the thing speaks for itself. It is so obvious in that clip that his privilege, he's speaking from a place of privilege, and he is only willing to serve people with privilege. You look at the people who are supporting him, there's all a common thread through them. Privilege. That's all they care about. I said it a couple of weeks ago. This is a man who is for sale. This is a man who cannot be taken seriously. This is a man who is doing this in order to get the attention that he has wanted ever since we've seen him on reality TV, to be connected and chummy with certain people in this LA society, and to profit off of it. Because let's be for real, he's going to fucking do that too if he becomes mayor. I am so disappointed in certain people actually taking him seriously, because to align yourself, very similar to what I said the other day about aligning yourself with racist policies, to align yourself with someone who thinks people are disposable, who only cares about a certain sector of people, and to use Karen Bass's words, who is using the pain of other people, that actual people suffered, to boost your own campaign and to win, you are equally the same person.
Who is?
The people who support Spencer Pratt. If you support what that man just said in that clip, you believe people are disposable. If you support what that man just said, you believe your privilege over everything. We talked earlier about Kevin Hart. Do you put comedian first or do you put being black first? These people are putting themselves and their privilege first over anything else when it comes to the city of Los Angeles. It is so obvious that they don't care about the actual needs and the concerns of this city. Like Karen Bass, and I'm not here to like promote her in that way, but like a simple search shows that one, in the same way, I do appreciate that interviewer because it's better than other interviewers that I've seen him talk to. Him pushing back, okay, you're going to use federal land. Where are you going to use it? It's not that simple. You have to fight through bureaucratic red tape to get that stuff done, to build affordable housing. You don't just say, I'm the mayor, I'm going to talk to these people, I'm going to build this land in 3 days and move 40,000 people or ship them back out of here so you can make way for the Olympics so the people who are funding your campaign can have their city look the way that it wants to. That's not how it works. I don't know if I'm frustrated by anything more than the Spencer Pratt of it all and people who I actually think are smart supporting him. I shouldn't be surprised that they're putting their privilege first. But damn it, I didn't think that they would be this overt about it.
Rachel.
I'm fucking sick of it. I'm like in a fucking mood. Maybe it's me losing the wallet and my debit and credit cards, but we've already been through this with Trump, and I'm not saying he's on the same level, but it's out of the same playbook. And I go through my feed, and I'm also on my period. I'm about to like almost get emotional.
Christ.
I'm almost about to get emotional.
What the fuck?
Wow. I just cannot stand the attention that this man is getting right now. This man does not give a fuck about anything but himself. And the fact that people I know are actually like, yeah, Spencer Pratt for me, I don't know. I'm gonna calm down. I'm you today.
You don't have to calm down.
I am you today.
Wow. See, look how that went.
No, I just mean like, I'm like so emotional about it. But again, like I said, I'm on my period. I actually wish he still worked here so we could call him in. I would love for him to come on this podcast.
Can we just look at what just happened? Rachel said, I'm emotional. I'm on my period. I'm you. It's like will the body blows,
I'm sorry.
Will the body blows that I receive on this podcast ever stop? Will the body blows that I get on this podcast ever cease?
You know what I more meant is that, because I apologize for that.
You don't have to apologize.
I got it.
I'm fucking with you.
I got it. I apologize for that because I more so meant you'll get so worked up that you just stop. You're like, I'm just going to stop talking right now because you just don't want it to go there. That's what I meant. I'm just going to stop. I'm like, I should not be this outraged.
You're disappointed in Billy Bush.
I'm disappointed in anybody that I know that I have like a connection with that actually is taking this shit seriously. I actually don't think they are. I just think they're taking themselves seriously. And I think I think I'm getting upset because there is a real chance that I think that he's going to be a contender.
No, Rachel, they like this shit. And let me tell you a couple of things.
No, they do. It benefits them.
Let me tell you a couple of things. First of all, I've been through this, When I was at TMZ, I thought that there was because remember, this is the deal. I've talked about this before. Setting a level of morality to me is impossible. You can't do that. You can't set a level of good because there are people that I know that are so devastatingly good that the average human being cannot meet their moral standard, right? And I just don't believe. But what you can set, and what I think that societies try to do, is set a level of bad. You can set a level of toxicity, what we'll accept. We're all a little toxic, right? We're all a little fucked up. We're all a little hypocritical. We're all a little bit liars, a little bit this, a little bit that. We can say, though, that you've gone too far. It's difficult for everyone to say, hey, let's meet the standard of this particular person because everyone has different ideas of what is good. What is bad, though, is kind of the thing that a society needs to agree on, in my opinion. We need to agree on what's unacceptable. All right. So sometimes, I was at TMZ, I thought that when the Trump shit came, that we had kind of set that line. That we had set a line of like what was unacceptable. We could have conversations about what did we say, the jokes we make, the way we cover things. And then I realized that line was not set, at least at that point. Things seemed to be different then. And I was legitimately disappointed. like a fucking babe in the woods, an ignorant, stupid, legitimately like, wait a minute, man. I didn't think it would get to this point. Things have changed here. People make up their minds, whatever, it's different stuff. I'm not looking to revisit that. I'm saying the situation with Spencer Pratt is that a lot of these people that are supporting Spencer Pratt have emotions surrounding this particular problem that aren't unlike a lot of other people. If you are driving around Los Angeles and you see an encampment, or if you are driving around Los Angeles and you see people that have addiction issues, it arrests you a lot of times. It makes you feel like you will indict yourself. Mm-hmm. You'll be like, look at, I go inside and play the video game and do all of this stuff. Look at this person that's legitimately outside of my building. They had to take planters and put them in a space outside of my building to stop someone from sleeping there and doing drugs outside of the building. Mm-hmm. This is not in a bad part of Los Angeles in any way, shape, or form. You go one block, Beverly Hills is right there, right? Which you never see that in Beverly Hills because their police forces get the fuck out of here, right? And then there are people that look at Los Angeles as their personal cultural playground, that don't think about the fact that what they might have might contribute to inequality that leads people to sleep on the streets. They don't like the sight of it.
Right.
It bothers them. They don't like the sight of it. They think that the dysfunction that signals is this moral decay, which is what he's speaking to, which is why I try, albeit poorly, to always indict systems over people. I do that so I never sound like Spencer Pratt sounds right now. Because since Spencer Pratt right now is saying that 50,000 people, 60,000 people decided that they would rather be addicted to fentanyl, live on the streets, and abuse their dogs rather than have homes, jobs, and their mental health. And that is such an easy thing for people to believe because they look at it as not this grander problem that we have to solve, but just something that we can get rid of.
Yes.
Something that we can dispel. Something that we can get out of here. That type of reductive thinking is what leads to abuses of power. It leads to demagoguery because now what you want is not someone to fix a problem or address a problem. You want someone to just take the trash out. And I see that in so many different things. It's not about just taking the trash out sometimes. Sometimes let's get to the root of the reason why there's so much trash. And maybe there won't be as much. So, I don't know Billy Bush or whatever, or none of those people.
I don't want to make it just about Billy.
I don't want to make it about Billy Bush. Okay, I'm not trying to.
Because they're gonna come at me for even being like.
Well, I don't want to.
But that's my coworker. I know him in a different way. Whatever. I'm going on this podcast to talk about it though.
No. But by the way though, that's the way that you do that. The way that you do that is by having that conversation. I don't look at that in any way and go, oh my God, like you work with the fucking guy. You know the fucking guy in a different way. It's not the only fucking person. It's not the only time that it happened. That's a nothing thing. But the reality is that when I look at somebody like him, the last name, stuff that I know, let's take it away from him. Let's take it to David fucking Foster, who was always like a cool, jovial guy. Let's take it to Jeannie Buss, one of the owners, somebody who I met not too long ago, one of the owners of the Los Angeles Lakers, or former owners of the Lakers. I'm not sure even the way that's working right now. All of these people seem to be coalescing around Spencer Pratt, and it's because he's one of them. So the question is, what happens to the people that are not one of them? Because those people, not just the Palisades, but Altadena, not just Beverly Hills, which is a different city, or the West Side or whatever, but everyone needs answers, and they need serious people to answer these questions. And even from a cynical perspective, he didn't even fucking try to answer that question. He didn't. He just performed.
Which is out of the Trump playbook. Okay. Yeah, which is why Trump is supporting him.
He's MAGA, straight up MAGA. Okay, so look, we're basically coming to the end here. We have two more. We could do Abdul Carter, or we could do.
You teased Abdul Carter. The last one will be quick. As quick as that fight was.
Damn, man. Rachel, can we just do Abdul Carter, please? Then we can get to this anti-Ray J agenda that has continued to be on this podcast for a long time, man.
I'm sick of the spectacle.
I know you are. But let's just do Abdul Carter real quick.
Let's do Abdul.
Donnie?
All right, let's start. The New York Giants quarterback Jaxson Dart drew some offseason attention after he appeared at a political rally in New York where he introduced President Donald Trump. The appearance quickly drew some online backlash, including from his teammate, Abdul Carter, who posted that he thought that the video was AI and questioned what we doing. Carter later deleted the post and publicly stated that he and Dart had spoken privately and resolved the issue and said that they were both good. But former NFL quarterback Boomer Esiason had this to say during a radio segment on WFAN.
This was a real error on the part of Abdul Carter, not on the part of Jaxson Dart. Jaxson Dart was asked to do something to introduce the president of the United States. How many people get an opportunity to do something like that, regardless of who the president is? You may have hated Barack Obama. You may have hated Joe Biden. And some guys didn't want to go to the White House because they didn't like those presidents, just like other guys didn't want to go to the White House because they didn't like President Trump. But to put this out like a child on social media is ridiculous. And then when I heard, we spoke man to man. Yeah, there was only one man on that call, and that was Jaxson Dart. You were a man who was late to meetings. You were a man who didn't live up to your draft choice. You're a man who wanted to wear number 56. And by the way, your idol, number 56, has introduced Donald Trump numerous times. So I don't want to hear this. So he made another just boneheaded error by going to social media.
Okay, this is the deal. If Abdul Carter not a man, tell him to his fucking face he not a man. That's the first thing. Y'all know that I don't get into all of these pejoratives and these mandingo fights and these dick measuring contests and all of that stuff. That shit is fucking useless. That is useless unless you gonna fucking fight. But unless you gonna, when you start talking like that, like he's not a man, no. To me, and look, I saw a picture of the Giants locker room. It looked like they figured things out or whatever. To me, being a man is saying that like the locker room or the sanctity of the NFL is not as important as the freedom and voting rights of my people. And there are things that mean more to me than that. That's being a man. Knowing that there are going to be people like Boomer Esiason that question your manhood over asserting what you believe to be. And he didn't even do anything that was light. It's like, that gotta be AI. Maybe he's saying there's a difference between voting someone or going or not going to the White House and doing what Jaxson Dart did, which is becoming a part of the MAGA political experiment. That is what Jaxson Dart did. Jaxson Dart has now made the New York Giants a MAGA team. When Jaxson Dart does well, President Trump will come out and say, hey, look, the New York Giants, MAGA's team, have done well. The New York Giants are now MAGA's team because their leader and their face, their quarterback, didn't just vote for Donald Trump. He introduced Donald Trump at a rally. He became a part of their political experiment. And you don't have to fucking like that. If you're Abdul Carter or anybody else, you don't have to like that. You don't have to surrender what you think is right, what you think is appropriate, what you think is civil for the fact of your fucking locker room. You don't. Football is not more important than whether or not niggas can vote.
Right.
And so, like, to me, when I hear Boomer Esiason come back and say there's only one man on the phone, who the fuck you think you talking to?
Exactly.
Like, why would you, like, just put a boy or a nigger at the end of that?
Exactly. That's what I heard.
Like, just go for it. There's only one man on the phone. Like, no, whatever's going on. The man is the one that went, hey, my QB did that, something like that, and I don't have to like that. I'm going to say something. I encourage all of these people, wherever you are, if you have the latitude to speak up or at least make your displeasure known, you are doing no one any favors by not doing so. Because if he didn't think you were a man before you made the tweet,
that
right?
part.
He was not going to think you're a man unless you do exactly what he wants you to do. And that is the central trick of white supremacy. You are worth it. You are a man. You are a citizen as long as you act in the way that we deem that you act.
Yeah. He basically told him to shut up and go back into the locker room. Okay, boomers. So
boomer.
So it's okay for Jaxson Dart, who really hasn't proven much as an athlete on the field, to go out and align himself with President Trump, which President Trump is the most controversial president of our lifetime, and that is very obvious. So for you to water that down and try to say like, oh, you have Obama here or whatever, no. You are making a statement at this point where we sit right now in May of 2026 when it comes to doing something that aligns yourself with Trump. This isn't going to the White House, which I still disagree with, because you won the Super Bowl. This is you introducing him, which is an endorsement. That is a statement. It says a lot. So why is it okay for Jaxson Dart to do that out loud and do what he wants, but Abdul cannot out loud express what he wants to on his social media feed? It's okay for him, but not for you. And the fact that he then proceeds to start naming all these things that he feels are controversial that Abdul Carter has done, and he's like, you need to go back and focus on that rather than doing this, lets you know exactly how he deems one athlete versus the other. And there really is one glaring difference when it comes to it. We talked about privilege earlier. This is, again, Boomer showing exactly who he is when it comes to his privilege and how he views one athlete versus the other, how there is grace for one and there is nothing given to the other. And the fat audacity for him to even be able to fix his mouth to reprimand Abdul Carter, who's a grown man playing in this league, and tell him what he better be doing, what he needs to be doing, is so problematic. I think this should be getting more attention than it actually is. But maybe nobody listens to Boomer on the radio.
Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody has the right to have the political opinion that they want. I don't have a problem with people going, this is who I am. I legitimately don't. I have a problem
I don't either, because I want to know.
I have a problem with the policy. I have a problem with the execution of said policy. I have a problem with the political direction. So I don't have an issue with that. You want to go and be a part of it? I'm certainly not going to get in anybody's face for introducing any candidates that I agree with. I'm not going to. But remember, candidates to me aren't people. They are a subset of policies and leadership qualities. Mm-hmm. I'm not judging a candidate based on any morality. I'm judging a candidate based upon whether or not I believe that what they do works for people. Now, I might make a moral judgment on what I think should work for people, meaning it's a moral judgment to me around healthcare, around housing. These are things that if you don't think that these are human rights to people, I look at you as a little immoral. I don't look at you as a humanist, right? I think that people should have the ability to go to the doctor, to have a place to live. I think that people should have the freedom of movement. I think we have a moral obligation to provide those things. But I try to keep morality out of politics because they're not people. There's no one in my estimation who's moral enough for leadership. Mm-hmm. That's not a concern of mine. I think people are people, and leadership should be about why you want to do something. Okay, it's mumble mouth as I say that. So I have a problem with Jaxson Dart doing that. I really don't. I have a problem with the fact that we can't say we don't like it.
Correct.
That his teammates he can go do something publicly, can go espouse something publicly, endorse something publicly, and the rest of the guys in the locker room, to be men, have to be mute about it.
Gotta just take it.
Man, y'all, if y'all can hear me, y'all don't gotta do that shit. Y'all don't have to do that shit. Y'all don't have to be quiet for your fucking locker room. Y'all don't have to be quiet for your fucking team, for your coaches, for your teammates. Y'all don't have to be quiet for none of that. That quiet shit ain't done nothing for you. Nothing. Nothing. These people only give a fuck about you when you rushing the quarterback. Don't go for that okie doke, which is another reason getting out of this situation why we should not have allowed them to mute Colin Kaepernick. I'm sorry, more cowbell, because that's essentially what they did. Colin Kaepernick came out and he said stuff and he started stuff and they said, guess what, nigga? Not from you, not now. We don't want to hear it. The culture of this game is bigger than you. Then they took his livelihood, shoved him to the back of the fucking bus. He's still doing great. But I'm saying this is the project of cultural strangleholds like the NFL. Nothing is more important than the game. That doesn't seem true for Jaxson Dart.
Correct.
Because he certainly didn't give a fuck about what it was going to do to his locker room. I bet he didn't fucking call Abdul Carter or anybody else in there before he made the decision to go do that.
Correct.
So why the fuck should any of you guys care about that? You shouldn't. That's the same capitalist shackle that has been used to put around your neck and your goddamn hands and feet since you got here. Let's talk about Ray J.
Yeah, he was hospitalized after getting knocked out in Vegas during a celebrity MMA fight against internet personality Super Hot Fire at Aiden Ross's Brand Risk 14 event.
Too much.
The fight was very quick. Super Hot Fire landed a right-handed punch that sent Ray J stumbling into the ropes before collapsing into the canvas. The incident sparked concern because Ray J has publicly discussed his ongoing health issues earlier this year, which we talked about. Sources close to Ray J said that medical staff were also concerned about his slow heart rate following the knockout, and they were investigating whether or not he suffered a concussion in the fight.
Go ahead.
What is there to say,
mean,
Van?
yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of things, I guess. I mean, this is so like the thing speaks for itself. I mean, somebody before the fight, someone even asked, it was a press conference. Somebody even asked Ray J, like, aren't you supposed to be sick? And he was like, yeah. And like we've tiptoed around it because I'm not here to question somebody's medical health. I don't know. We'll never know particularly what Ray J is or is not suffering from.
Right.
But what I do know is you publicly came out and said that your heart is pumping at 25%.
Yeah.
Why in the world are you subjecting yourself to he didn't say MMA fight. Like in his press conference, he was like, we're going to do it all. We choking, we hitting, we kicking, we're doing all of this to where you don't know what the outcome is going to be.
That's
and
all
then,
in MMA.
And then you're doing it for Aiden Ross.
Tough.
And we know how I feel about that.
Right.
So how am I supposed to take you seriously, which I don't? How am I supposed to take your fighting career seriously, which you claim you weren't able to fully commit yourself to when I was about to imitate it, but I'm not. How he was fighting.
The knockout?
No, not the knockout. That's been mean. How you didn't see him when he was running up to him like this?
Yeah.
Do you box? Is that how you do it?
Look, I'm gonna be honest with you.
If I came up to you to start a fight, say, "Hey, you ready?"
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest.
Stand
with
up.
You. Okay. So I'm gonna be honest with you. This is gonna sound so stupid. Just having as many rounds as I've had in my life, anybody that would be willing to fight in front of a bunch of people actually under the lights, I kind of respect it. Like anybody, like you guys, you put headgear on, you get in the ring, you sparring against somebody that you know from the gym or somebody that you don't know. Getting in there is one thing to go in there and train. It's another thing to put your fucking gloves on and go in there and actually fight. So I always try to like stop short of giving too much criticism to someone that in front of an entire watching public, both on television and in an arena, under them fucking lights. Because I done seen homies from the gym that's wizards in the gym go under them lights and fight. And if you do that, I kind of respect it. I'll say this though. Why is Ray J doing this? Health thing aside, Ray J, I'll be honest with you. Ray J made more money with his dick than most rappers made from their raps. Like the sex tape alone, Ray J been making money and being on TV and stuff like that since I was in the 10th fucking grade. From movies to singles to sex tapes to all of that stuff. Why on God's green earth is Ray J in the ring at damn near 50 years old, under the lights? He's 46, we're the same age. Or he's 45 maybe. So maybe in his mid-40s, throwing punches with people. Why would he be doing that? And when I look at lessons, I'm like, that's the shit that I look at. I don't want to be in any way needing or even wanting to be in that situation. I don't know what's going on with the brand risk shit and all of that stuff. Ray J seemed to assert or allege some things after that. The fighting part of it, it's like I can't really hate on it because it's such a ballsy move for people to do it. But why is Ray J doing it with everything that we know about his health and with the long list of things that he's done? Indoor pool, outdoor pool. Ray J got the Maybachs and all of that stuff. Why the fuck is Ray J doing this in his mid-40s?
So you talking about the respect you have for people who get in the ring and fight, and you box and you spar and you've done all that, and you go and you know that sport. I think those people would be highly offended if you compared that, what they do fighting, to this. This was not a fight. This was a fucking spectacle. I know more about Ray J than I ever want to know. Okay. And I've had a fuck enough. I really have when it comes to Ray J. I don't want to know anything else. I want to take some of the, like you talk, like I said, the medical stuff, we took it seriously when you said it. Then you out here in a, what even appears to be a rigged fight, because you got mad at the person that you were fighting. Super hot fire. You got mad at him because apparently he didn't stick to the plan. Like, your friends are ringside, laughing at you. Chris Brown could not even talk. He was laughing so hard. Yeah. Like, what are we doing here? And then now that we get pictures of you in the hospital, and then the latest thing that comes out is you're upset because Aiden Ross hasn't reached out to you. He got exactly what he wanted out of it.
Hey, why he gonna reach out?
He made money, and he got you to dance for him in a ring. And now you're the laughing stock, and he got paid. What are we doing? What?
Nah,
enough.
I can't. Yeah, this one, you know.
Don't you dare say you respect what he did there.
I respect people. I respect people getting in the ring. I do, because I respect it, because it's so many people that talk so much shit. But if you really put, I don't know much about the MMA, but if you put them in headgear or put gloves on them, they wouldn't get in there and get busy with you.
But this was a rigged fight.
Well, so whatever. It didn't look rigged to me. It looked like the nigga went to sleep.
He went off script.
Yeah, it looked like the nigga went to sleep to me. Ben the Don was like, what's that on your fucking head?
He was funny.
He's very funny. He's hilarious. Like, but it didn't look rigged to me. I just wonder why Ray J would want to do this. If he had like, I've been training for a long time and I wanted to always try this and blah, blah, blah. I don't know if anyone asked him these questions, but man, it's estimated that Ray J made upwards of $15 million alone off the sex tape with Kim. Alone. He just got hit off a couple of years ago, according to reports, with $6 million just for silence, so he wouldn't talk about it anymore.
Well, people blow their money. I mean, Spencer Pratt spent $1 million on Crystal because he thought the world was ending according to the Mayan calendar. So, like, people lose their money.
2012? I remember I thought that for a second. You ever see the end of Apocalypto?
I love that movie.
You ever see the end of it?
Yeah.
I can't believe you've seen that. How the fuck have you seen that?
I've seen it so many times.
Are you an insane person? So you mean to tell me you've never fucking seen Back to the Future? Mm-mm. You've never seen Back to the Future? No, I don't want to hear it now. You've never seen Back to the Future.
What is he saying?
And
what's the thing
you don't watch, you don't know who Marty McFly is. You have no idea who Darth Vader is, Luke Skywalker. You don't know any of these people, right? But you've seen Apocalypto a bunch of times.
Is it not a good movie?
Okay. Well, I mean, yeah.
To me.
It's got all kinds of problems with it, but the last scene of Apocalypto is this chilling scene where, he makes it out to the end, he survived, and when he gets to the beach, he sees that the conquistadors are coming, Spanish are coming.
I am Jaguar Paw. That's what it was.
Yeah, so he's like, Jaguar Paw now, whatever. I just wonder if this is happening to me in actual real life, to where generationally, we've made it out of the wilderness, and now there's new conquistadors, younger ones, the Aiden Rosses, the fucking Theo Vaughns, all of these people that are just coming, like, even if you beat the waves of people that were there before, you beat all the record company people, you beat all of them, as long as you're running through the jungle, it's going to be somebody there. You're going to run to ships you got to get out the jungle. Got to get out the jungle. That's what it makes, Ray J, man. I'm still a Ray J truther.
I don't even know what that means.
I'm still a Ray J truther. Ray J just done a lot. Ray J been around. Ray J
a lot of people have done a lot of stuff. That doesn't mean that it was meaningful.
Do you know who Ray J is? Ray J is Bizarro Jason Weaver.
No, don't do Jason Weaver like that.
Let me tell you why. Both Jason Weaver and Ray J have been able to stay along for a long, long time and consistently give us stuff. It's just that the stuff that Jason Weaver has given us has been super wholesome, and the stuff that Ray J has given us has not been. That's the difference.
Who's your bizarro person?
It's a good question. I don't think I'm big enough to have a bizarro person. I need to do a couple of more things. But like bizarro Jason Weaver is Ray J. Ray J is the bizarro version. Jason Weaver, think about this.
No.
Just think about it. Jason Weaver got on young Michael Jackson. Ray J got on Moesha's illegitimate brother. Look at that. Bizarro. Jason Weaver gets on musically Chingy, One Call Away. Just in the video chilling. Ray J, wait a minute. Tupac thing. Remember Lil' Kim? I'm the little one and it's not Bow Wow. What is she talking about? Think about it. Jason Weaver gets on Drumline. He's in college. He's doing all of that stuff. Ray J at that same time, for the love of Ray J, we're already into the reality shows and the sex tapes. They're both staying around for decades upon decades upon decades. One is wholesome. The other one is the bad boy. That's what bizarro version of it. But I got love for the staying power, man. I got love for the staying power. Right now, Jason Weaver makes all of the right cultural decisions. Ray J, MAGA shit. Bizarro. Ray J is bizarro Jason Weaver, or Jason Weaver is wholesome Ray J.
Ray J is your Spencer Pratt. Now let's go. Let's get out of here.
Nah, he's actually my Billy Bush. Don't throw me in it by myself. Don't play with me. All right, take thin caps off, but do not stop learning. Bernard, do better.
Who are you?
I'm Van Lathan Jr.
I'm Rachel and Lindsay. Bye, guys.